Amelia joined our staff at University Baptist Church in 2008 as our Minister of Youth and College Students. From her early years and all the way through, Amelia has been a consistent warrior for justice.
I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church, and then I went through a kind of spiritual awakening in college. I studied world religions and philosophy, and that was really like the first time in my life where I was exposed to more progressive forms of Christianity. I think trying to separate out faith and politics is impossible because people have a faith belief system that influences how they vote, whether they're a religious person or not. The work that I do with TFN is some of the most fulfilling work I do as a pastor. I'm excited about our reproductive freedom congregations designation and the kind of momentum that we seem to have with that. Really, since way back when the sort of beginnings of this idea were forming, I think there was this real recognition that to change the culture around reproductive rights in Texas, it was going to take a lot of different strategies, but an important part of that would be really mobilizing communities of faith, where sometimes these topics are pretty taboo, even in more moderate progressive congregations. Two really meaningful actions that come to mind that I've been involved with through TFN. One had to do with the transgender bathroom bill that came through the Texas legislature. Sonia Miller and Just Texas organized our Faith Does Not Discriminate event at the Capitol with lots of clergy from different faith traditions. We gathered inside the Capitol and we sang hymns, which is a super religious thing to do, but it just felt like such a contrast to the ugliness that was kind of unfolding in some of the hearing rooms.
So I wanted to tell you that beautiful song you sang really touched me because we have really had some rough times on the floor.
And then at Whole Women's Health here in Austin, Just Texas organized a clinic blessing for the providers at Whole Women's Health. We gathered that day and I had my son with me, who was just a little less than 6 months old. We prayed and we blessed the space and we got to just get to know some of the folks who work in the clinic a bit better. And for me, that was so moving because, you know, the narrative from the so-called pro-life movement is that those of us who work in reproductive freedom advocacy somehow don't have appreciation for life or children. And it's just so far from the truth.
I enjoyed being in the justice journey with Amelia. She's engaged from her heart. She's active and does not hold back. She responds to the opportunities to speak her voice on these things. Because of the impact that she's made and the contribution she's made in this area, I can't think of anybody else who deserves this award more. She's kind of like Ginger Rogers in Heels, dancing backwards. She's raising 2 children. She has a wonderful, supportive husband. But to do all that and still minister with integrity is a wonderful and amazing thing. And I'm grateful for her ministry among us.